tiptoe. Kill streaks like we dominate in Skid Row. When we down, you still never see my click throw. I just pull up on you with a Kimbo. Stomping through the halls, we don't tiptoe. Kill streaks like we dominate in Skid Row. When we down, you still never see my click throw. I just pull up on you with a Kimbo. Around scary folk, never stereotype, man, we barely spoke. I learned it's best to keep a wild card very close. You never know when you caught in that scenario. Oh, they always wonder how I took my past and ran with it. If you call it, I ain't answering. You fighting with a southpaw, make you switch your stance if we dance again. Hard body, cocky, but I'm arrogant. No mistakes, I'm prepared again. Yeah. High stakes, y'all embarrassing. Wu-Tang and NWA handle parenting. So hip-hop was the blessing I inherited. Walk around confident, like every time I touch a microphone I body it. Until imposter syndrome got me feeling fraudulent. Know my shit stinks, so I'm bad at taking compliments, but I'm great at talking shit, yeah. Stomping through the halls, we don't tiptoe. Kill streaks like we dominate in Skid Row. When we down, you still never see my click throw. I just pull up on you with a Kimbo. I just pull up on you with a Kimbo.
Just like that, it's Thursday night, and you know what that means. It's party time with the Video Bros. I'm Bobby Munson, and in just a moment, the man beside me, the man with the angelic voice, Papa Smokes. Papa Smokes is having a little technical difficulties. Hopefully you can hear us again, brother. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. It's another Thursday night. Glad to be here on Ring Respect Radio. And whoa, we got ourselves a special guest, Munson.
We sure do. Right there below us, returning 1 year after his time here at Ring Respect Radio, and pump it up for another great weekend of PPW action right there. Our main man, Enjay. How are you doing, my man?
What's up? I'm doing great, man. Really excited to get into PPW and 2 sleeps. So it's right around the corner. This is going to be just over a year. Like this will be. I've been going to PPW events. I haven't missed one now for about a year, like a year and a bit. So I'm ready to now kind of experience these kind of storylines coming to a head and things that have been teased over the past few shows. It's going to be really exciting.
And some that are just going to be starting up. We're going to get to that in just a moment. We're going to be talking all things PPW Smoke Show here tonight. Speaking of PPW, they stopped by to say, awesome, it's Papa Smokes and Enjay. No, I guess Munson is here there too. Yes, I am here just about every Thursday night. We also got Basser up in the house. Basser say, PP-dub, what are you guys up to Saturday? Well, I mean, it is 420. I know what some of us might be up to that day. Brian Carr's up in the house. Brian, how are you doing? Good evening to you too, my good friend. And Brian,
Brian.
Make sure you're here. Make sure you're here next week because we're bringing it back. It's What the Fuck Do We Know About Wrestling Pub Trivia Night next Thursday, my friend. And we're going to MLW Trivia Night. So make sure you're here to try to get yourself your prestigious win you want to win on the YouTube side there. So everybody make sure you're here. It's going to be a fun night. But speaking of fun nights, PPW, we did this last year. Ring Respect landed on 420. We did a 420 special. This is kind of our precursor to the 420 special because lo and behold, PPW knows us well. They know what the fans want, and they know that we want to land a smoke show on 420. First, I want to say, Enjay, we've talked about it lots on the show here, but we want to get it from your perspective, being in the audience at the last PPW show when finally Colton Kelly managed to conquer the Sheik and win the championship, the only one that's ever held that belt outside of Sheiky in all our time since 2019 when we started the promotion. What was that moment like?
Dude, I can't remember who posted it, but I remember the day after somebody posted a video from a really good perspective, I think up by the stage, of kind of a view of the entire crowd as soon as the 3 count happened. And you can see me absolutely lose my mind. I stood up and I got on top of my chair and I was grabbing the guy beside me and I was like, there's no way. Like I was definitely not expecting it. Not to say that I didn't think that Colton Kelly could beat him or be a good champ or anything like that. It was such a swerve and such a great match. Like the whole last 3 to 5 minutes of it they were just going, and it was like it could really go either way. And man, what a energy in that building. And then even as everybody kind of left the building, talking outside, and everyone was just so happy. It's wild when you have a night and you can send the fans home with a moment like that, fresh in their brains. And then, people are talking about, did you see that coming? I can't believe that happened outside. And then, and then I ran into Colton Kelly after the event. I kind of went up to him after everybody had kind of cleared out. And I was like, what's up? And then we talked and whatever. And then I get a message from him later that night at like 2:30 in the morning. And he's like, dude, I didn't realize you were Enjay when I was talking to you. I really am into your music and whatever, and hit me up at the next show. So I'm excited to hang out with the champ and say what's up. And I don't know. I'd love to do something for him. Maybe some kind of a song or I don't know, some kind of a partnership on something. Because Colton Kelly's the man, dude. He's the man.
He's such an awesome dude. From the moment that he stepped into Prairie Pro Wrestling, came up and shook my hand for the very first time. I'm like, this is one of the boys. Like this is a guy you can connect with on a personal level. And when I saw that the whole PPW Nation was making that connection with him throughout, and that star continued to rise, then unfortunately his injury due to the former champ Sheik Akbar Shabazz and that sneaky back in there. Well, I wondered, I was like, when they came back, would he still be able to make that connection with the fans? And lo and behold, that connection was build there, and you could just see it. Everybody was waiting for this moment to happen, but nobody knew when it would happen because we had made them believe so many times that this was the guy. This was who was going to beat the Sheik. And time again, like Papa Smoke says, by hook or by crook, the Sheik found a way. Papa Smokes, again, from your perspective there, you're on the other side of the ring. I've seen the footage. I've got it all edited, just so everybody knows. The match is edited, completed. There are scans of the fans. There is one shot right after Colton wins the belt, and he's looking down and the emotion on his face. And simultaneously, both Papa Smokes and I got the same idea to turn the cameras towards the fans. So we've got like this double shot of both ends of the arena with all the fans just losing their mind, hugging one another. And then you pan back to Colton Kelly, and the referee just handed the belt over to him. And the realization on his face is so fucking cool. Papa Smokes, your perspective from that particular night.
For sure. And NJ talked a little bit about just the wild emotion in the crowd. It was similar for me. I mean, I've been to a million of these shows, watching them as a fan, doing camera work, all that kind of stuff. But I think there was a feeling in the building about Colton that night that he might be able to do it. But I'll tell you, man, as far as pops go, when that referee's hand slapped the mat for the third time, we've seen millions of 2 counts on the sheet. But when he slapped it that third time, it was insane. It was everybody's energy just surged at the same time. It was an insane feeling. The hairs are standing up on my arms right now, just remembering that it was a rush. It was just, it was a pure ecstasy, so to speak. It was just an incredible moment, one that you can't really relive unless you were there in person. Although on video, you will get some sense of this. I don't think it was a coincidence, Munson, that both of us turned the cameras onto the crowd. It was their moment in a way as well as Colton's, right? They had waited so long, and it was this long journey. And woof, holy cow, it was like a vacuum or something that the energy just surged. It was incredible. I haven't seen anything like it.
Yeah, it was definitely a highlight, like PPW moment for me.
Oh.
Definitely in like the top 3 of anything that I've been there for. Right up there with the wheelchair spot a few shows ago was one of the most insane things I've ever seen, and had me and my buddies talking about it for weeks. Yeah, man. Oh, just great moments. Just the ability of these guys to just go out there every show and just create these moments is. It's spectacular. I can't wait for Saturday.
And as Basser says, it was our Cody beating Roman. Yeah, Colton finishing the story, did it before Cody even managed to. We're going to go back here. Brian mentioned, first Brian mentioned he knows what he's not up to on Saturday, but would like to. Brian, again, I keep telling you, man, I'm working towards live Twitch, possibly down the road, but there's a lot of working cogs, man. I need some new video bros added to the team in order to make that kind of stuff happen. So it's on the table for now, but maybe one day we'll hook you up. Who knows? Maybe I'll set something up for you, Brian, to get a sneak peek of those matches ahead of time, just because you've been so patient with the uploads and everything. But Brian also saying Colton Kelly is the illegitimate champion. There is only one proper title holder, and his name is El Assassino.
Yeah.
Oh man, Ed's in the house. All right, the mood just picked up because Ed's in here. It's instead of what Brian just said, because oh man, Brian's on a touchy subject there. The most hated man in Saskatoon, El Assassino. We know that he's got his hands full at the moment. He's definitely been stepping over the line once again with the chair shots and kind of got the ear of Michael Allen Richard Clark. And last time out, even attacking Clark after Clark's matchup and using the line, "Keep your fucking nose out of my business," and walked off. And he had even earlier in the night told Crash Crimson quite clearly that if you don't keep Michael Allen Richard Clark out of my business, there's going to be a bloodbath on your hands. Now, NJ, those words and that chair shot again, we're going down the road of El Assassino in this damn chair that he keeps bringing along. What is that like from the crowd's perspective, watching El Assassino and the mass amount of heat that this guy draws every time he steps into an arena?
It was shocking. I mean, I figured El Assassino might be done with chairs after that chairs match, because that was some pretty raunchy stuff, and I figured he might be afraid to go anywhere near a competitor with a chair after that, but it doesn't appear that way, because he was immediately just causing trouble for everybody and just wreaking havoc again right after that. So yeah, I mean, it was nasty. He's clearly out for blood. I don't know why. I don't know who's got him so mad or what they did to him, or what his path is, what he wants necessarily. But those sometimes are the most scary villains. The guys that you don't understand. They're pure chaos, and I don't know. It's gonna be a lot for Michael Allen and Richard Clark to deal with. I think he's got to keep his eyes over both shoulders.
He really does. It's going to be an interesting time. Now, we've got this main event planned for this Saturday. The title is on the line. Colton Kelly's going to be defending against the crazed cowboy Jacob Creed. I don't know, this predates to times that you started coming in, Jay, but before Creed came back to us in the form of the Brotherhood with Bucky McGraw and the Dixie Dragon, he ran amok in the early days of Prairie Pro Wrestling, not only in one match giving color to Michael Allen, Richard Clark, which ended up leading to a draw. Both men couldn't be contained, blood everywhere all over the place. Then the next show out, they were scheduled to fight again, but a backstage brawl occurred, the two of them fighting in the backstage area, which led to Jacob Creed essentially walking out in amongst all the fans in his street clothes with his bag and turning around, flipping them all off, saying he was done with the company. He was out of there and walked out for the entire night. This then led to Clark pleading with PPW management to get a street fight or a non-sanctioned brawl with Jacob Creed, and then these two took it to the limit. So we're talking Michael Allen could definitely hang in these types of fights we were talking about with El Assassino, but then looking at the other side, the crazed cowboy is not going to be an easy task for the new champion. This guy has only got one singles defeat in all of Prairie Pro Wrestling, and that was at the hand of Michael Allen Richard Clark in that street fight. And Michael Allen Richard Clark had to take the bull rope that Creed brings to the ring and wrap it around his neck and give him the hangman's noose over the top rope to the outside in front of the fans, to the point where Creed was blue in the face. That was how the defeat happened. Other than that, nobody has been able to keep Creed down for the count. So Colton Kelly has got a mighty mountain to climb. Your thoughts on Jacob Creed from what you've seen so far?
I mean, he looks like a menace, and Colton Kelly's got to hope that he maybe can get some friends to have his back or something, because another thing about Creed is he don't work alone from what we've seen. So, I would be, again, another situation where you gotta have your eyes almost on the back of your head and just be careful, because I think that he's going to see an opportunity here. He maybe is going to be underestimating the new champion. And, I could see him bringing a lot of, extra guns to this fight because of that, just trying to have all that collateral there and just have, make sure that no matter what, he's going to have all of his I's dotted and his T's crossed for this one. So yeah, I'm hoping Colton Kelly can keep his mind in it and just focus up, make sure he doesn't let those outside distractions get to him.
You bet. Papa Smokes, I saw you kind of shaking your head in a little disgust as I was discussing the past problems with the crazed cowboy Jacob Creed there. Your thoughts, man, because I know you had a real dislike for the actions that Creed took on the early stages of PPW.
Yeah, but we talked about this incident before from a couple of years ago. This is when PPW was first getting our wheels underneath us, and Creed comes in with this bad attitude and completely disruptive backstage behavior, and I didn't like that. I didn't like what was said afterwards. I didn't like the unprofessionalism of it. I respect Creed as a wrestler, and I've seen him many times before that, but I didn't like that at all, and I didn't like that he was trying to give PPW a black eye on his way out kind of thing. So, yeah, but we've got a new relationship. Things are different now. It's a couple of years later, he has been down in the States in Las Vegas training with Jake the Snake and a few other things. So I'm willing to give it another try. Now, on one hand, I kind of feel like Colton Kelly has everything to lose in this match, and Jacob Creed has everything to gain because Colton Kelly, that's a tough first kind of overpowering his opponents a little bit. He ain't going to be able to do that in this match. Creed is huge, and he really imposes his will upon his opponents. So Kelly's in for an extremely hard-hitting match. He's going to be sore after this one. With the Brotherhood, Bucky McGraw's got Dixie Dragon and Jacob Creed ready to go as a tag team. They're looking extremely favorable to come out of the tag team tournaments with those brand new shiny in a world title shot before that. If we're not careful within the next couple of months, we could see the Brotherhood with all the gold in PPW.
I was just going to mention that because, of course, we're talking about the tag division. We had the unveiling of the tag titles at the previous Prairie Pro Wrestling show. And this time around, we are going to have tag matches. I don't know if there's a tournament, if there's one way it's going to be determined. I don't have the insider scoop for you here today. The only way you're going to find out is to be there live this Saturday or wait till the YouTube release. Sorry, Brian. But you can check it out and find out this Saturday as we find a way to get to the PPW champions. But the interesting part with Jacob Creed now in the singles title picture in that main event, does it mean that we might see the combination of the Dixie Dragon and Bucky McGraw in tag team action? Could they decide to go that direction and then go for all the gold? Like Papa Spokes was saying, we got, I think the question is, who's going to have Colton's back when Dixie and Bucky come out to interfere? Very much so. Got to bring Big Papa back in here. Technical difficulties, but he's back with us. All right. So we got Brian saying the International El Asesino Appreciation Society would like to know that is El Asesino beats Mark and Mark beat Creed. Wouldn't that make El Asesino the new #1 contender? You know, that I can tell you're an El Asesino super fan, Brian, just from this comment, because it takes the logical thinking of an El Asesino fan to come up with that kind of 6 degrees of separation there. But I'm sure El Asesino is going to be knocking at those PPW management doors if he gets that kind of victory, and then he's going to want a title sooner or later. But who knows? Maybe Asesino's found himself a tag partner. Enjay, the tag scene, what excites you about these new belts, and who is on your mind for who you'd like to see as the champs?
I'm excited that it seems like the tag team division is going to be predominantly featured on this show. I mean, if you look at the poster, it seems like, hey, I mean, other than the title match, we're doing lots of tag team stuff tonight. So, I'm again, like you said, we don't know if it's going to be a tournament or what kind of situation it's going to be, but all of the tag team action that we've seen so far since they announced this kind of tag team division and since showing the belts has been awesome. I mean, everything so far. So a lot of competitors. Seems like they have a lot of teams involved in it. So yeah, I'm excited. Like, tag teams are always unpredictable because you got a lot of personalities in there, a lot of different ways things can go down, and a lot more people for the ref to keep their eyes on, and that always makes things a little bit more interesting. So yeah, I'm excited for some tag team action for sure.
Yeah, makes it more chaotic around ringside. As Bastard said, he thinks the Short Kings are his pick for the first tag team champions. He'd put $50 on it.
I think that's not a bad call.
Like that action.
Yeah. I mean, friends of the show, great dudes, great podcast. Check it out. Short Kings podcast on YouTube and Spotify. They're fantastic. I mean, if there's two guys that definitely understand working in conjunction as a tag team, Reed Matthews and Mars the Specialist are on that list. But let's not forget about the Clandestine Society, because Michael Richard Blaze, Stephen Crow were really essentially two of the guys that got this kickstart to the tag division going. And it was Crash Crimson himself that stated that he believes that would be his pick for the first tag team champions at PPW. Thoughts on the Clandestine Society?
You can't discount them. I mean, everything that we've seen from them has been super solid. Every time Stephen Crow is in the ring, the people love him. He has that connection with him, and I think they're a good shot for it. I mean, the Short Kings also, like you were saying, Papa Smokes there. That's a really good call as well. So, I mean, either way, I think we're going to get a lot of action, and yeah, I'm excited for the whole thing.
Now, I will say there is combinations of wrestlers that are there. I can't guarantee they're going to be teamed up, but they are tag teams that have existed outside of Prairie Pro Wrestling that we have not seen exist in Prairie Pro Wrestling yet. So there could be the opportunity to unveil some teams that do have that working relationship outside of Prairie Pro Wrestling already that could join this thing. I think Munson and Smokes should be the inaugural champs. We're the forever behind the scenes tag team champions of the world, never defended, never beaten. That's how it works, Brian. We should get ourselves some ring respect belts or something just to arrogantly walk around like we're champs for life here, Papa Smokes.
I don't know about that one, Munson. I'm not sure about that one. But I was just going to add about the tag team scene is that we've seen all these wrestlers in PPW compete in singles. And we, have formed an idea in our minds of what they're like. But tag team wrestling is different. Chemistry counts. Teamwork counts for a big part of that. That's where the clandestine society comes in, maybe giving up size and strength to some of these other teams, but they know each other very well, and they've been a tag team for a long time. And there's no substitute for that teamwork instinct like that. Knowing that if your buddy's down, you got to get in there and give it twice as much effort until he can come back and help you. You know that he'll help you in the same situation, all that kind of stuff, and all the ring awareness that tag team wrestling takes. It ain't easy. Sometimes you can't just throw two good wrestlers together and have them beat a proper tag team. So yeah, some of the advantage might lie with the pre-existing teams such as Clandestine Society and Short Kings.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you guys this, because again, talking about existing teams, our former champion Sheik Akbar Shabazz has himself a tag team. He's a tag team champion outside of Prairie Pro Wrestling, in fact, over in Alberta. And that's along with Bharat Gavrani. Is there a possibility that Sheiky could have called up his buddy Bharat, having a look at the gold on that side, because then he could officially call himself the first person to ever win both belts in Prairie Pro Wrestling history? Enjay, thoughts on that if Sheik enters this tag team title picture?
Oh man, I mean, it'd be wild to see the energy in that place shift. I'll tell you that. I mean, yeah, Bharat, he's also in his own right a really great competitor. I mean, I've seen him in solos action a handful of times, and again, his size is a really big benefit, and then Sheik as well. So I feel like both of them, we're gonna get, if they are teaming up, we would get like I don't know, like the big villains almost of that tag team division. I feel like they'd have a big target on them. A lot of people would be looking for that. So I think what you were saying, Papa Smokes, too, about the whole chemistry, I feel like that is going to come into play. How many times have we seen tag teams that, things just don't work out and they lose because they're just not on the same page, or even just full on disagreements in the middle of a match between two competitors when they maybe don't have that kind of rapport or relationship with each other. And so I guess that's one thing that she could have to consider. He does have that partner that he is also, they do have that chemistry, and they got that, that they have that all kind of synced up already. They're already champions. So, I mean, yeah, could totally see it.
Yeah. Papa Smokes, your thoughts if Sheiky decides to enter this tag team title picture?
Oh, the rest of the division might be in trouble too, because Sheik knows his way of how to get to a belt and how to defend it. I mean, can you imagine the collective feeling of the PPW nation if the Sheik comes out of the next show with another belt around his waist? I mean, that is going to piss some people off, and that might be some great viewing. So I wouldn't put it past the Sheik. He knows how to do it, and he can do it if he wants to.
A man always draped in gold. As Brian saying, he would love to see Taryn find another female partner to compete in tag matches. I think with her, they could make a legit run. And again, that would be great. We do have both Taryn and Zoe Sager showing up at this show, so we got the both of them there. I have my doubts that there will be a pairing between those two, especially seeing as Taryn from accounting, very beloved by the PPW Nation. And as we've seen lately, guys, Zoe Sager, not so much. She's had a bit of an attitude shift, not so welcoming to the PPW Nation, and a little bit of a middle finger waving banner that she's got going on. And Enjay, I'm going to go to you. Thoughts on Zoe and Taryn as well, too. Thoughts on both competitors?
Great competitors, both of them. I think Zoe's got a lot of that electricity in the ring that you need, and again with that almost aggressive attitude towards both her competitor and the crowd. Very, very interesting competitor to watch. And then Taryn from accounting, like you said, I mean, the crowd was really, really behind her at the Halloween show there when she ended up winning the Battle Royal. I had an absolutely great time watching her in that and watching her compete in the match that she was in. I believe on that same show she had a singles match. So yeah, I mean, both of them great. Again, I don't think them tag teaming would be the best. I think, again, you're talking about chemistry, clash of personality, maybe a little bit of egos at play there. So you got to really be careful because some of these teams, like, they're no slouch. Like, they're coming in there to win the whole thing. And I think you don't want to go in there and be made a fool of in the first round or whatever. If it is a tournament, you want to kind of make a statement if it's your first time being a tag team.
Yeah, you bet. As Bass saying, Taryn has been a fan favorite since her first show. Zoe, always nice to have her back, even though she's mean now. Yikes. Faster state. Another thing I want to bring up, guys, because again, maybe and the people are just following along on YouTube or they've just been following along in a live capacity. You might not know this, but Morris Waltz has gone and started doing some call outs here recently on social media. In fact, calling out somebody who he had his first match against in Prairie Pro Wrestling, Mr. Riley Cruz. I know we had both of them on the show here before Pop spoke, so both of them have mentioned that. We've talked about that smack that Waltz gave to Riley Cruz that we still remember very vividly. I'm going to go over to you, Enjay. Just want to know your thoughts on both Riley and Morris and the idea that after, just over a year now, we could see a rematch between these two up-and-comers.
Yeah, I mean, the match between them was great. It was wild to see how developed both of them were as, new as they were when they were first kind of coming out there and working the first few times. And the growth between both of them has been crazy. I'm a little biased on this front because Morris, I'm a huge Morris fanboy, so I can't, I have to pick Morris to get the win. It was a little bit awkward 2 shows ago. I didn't know who he was facing. I think it was 2 shows ago, and I showed up wearing my Uncle Phil shirt, and then he comes out, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta cheer for my boy while I'm wearing the other guy's shirt, and they're facing each other, and it was very awkward. They were both just kind of looking at me like, what is going on here? So, unfortunately, I gotta have Morris's back. He's like the cousin that you have that, like, sometimes he might say something you don't always agree with, but like you just gotta have his back, But yeah, I'm excited to see Riley too. I mean, that guy, he's on fire. He comes out and that energy is crazy. I love his entrance. I love how much he gets the people fired up. So I'm excited to see them go at it again.
You bet. Gonna get your thoughts as well here, Papa Smokes. I know you're a big Morris Waltz fan too, but before that, what's up, BDJ? How's it going, brother? Good to have you here. Can't wait to see you. Are you gonna be there Saturday? I'm going to be watching for you when I'm at the door there, my man. Bash said, I feel like Riley needs a big win. His confidence seems a little low lately. Morris is cerebral in the ring. Papa Smokes, thoughts on this potential matchup and thoughts on, someone who you're very, very fond of as well, too, Mr. Morris Waltz, and what he's been bringing to the ring.
Well, I'm always interested in a company's youngest talent. I want to see what the next batch of wrestlers looks like. We've got the Prairie Pro Training Academy here too, in which both Morris Waltz and Riley Cruz trained. So this is like a natural matchup. They finished their training roughly around the similar time and were ready to start their pro debuts right around the same time. So, of course, there's going to be a little bit of competition between the two. And we spoke to both these guys about that when they each guested on this podcast. And both said, yeah, it's not an imaginary thing. Like, we got along while we were training, but there is that competition. And, you know, I wanted to get ahead of him and he wanted to get ahead of the other guy. So it's a natural rivalry that these two have got. And I think the fans can feel that. And I think that's going to be one of the big matchups coming up over the next year in PPW. These guys don't need a lot of hype before their matches. This is a good one. We want to see which guy is going to come out and win this race early. And as you've seen, Riley Cruz with a whole bunch of energy coming out, just like Enjay was saying, with all that heavy metal and head banging and such. But Morris Waltz, just a quieter, more dangerous kind of attitude to him. He's very controlled and collected. I like to call him PPW's blue chip stock because he always performs up to his potential. I think this is a great matchup. I hope to see more of these guys fighting in the future, but I don't think one match is going to solve it. It's going to be something that's going to be with both of these guys for a number of months now until somebody pulls ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there 100%. So can't wait to see that unfold and see what happens. So, gentlemen, I'm looking at the clock. Might make sure we're done about 8 o'clock there. Make way for the Honor Ramble that's coming on after us, where you can go and join Kyle Sports spot. Let me start that again. The Honor Ramble. Come on, Bobby. Have another joint before you do this shit. Anyway, Honor Ramble coming up after us. It's the Ring of Honor post show with Kyle Sparks returning to join Auntie Collins following Ring Respect Radio. Now, guys, I know Papa Smoke suggested this earlier in the day, but how about we play a PPW matchup here that we can kind of watch and talk about as we go along?
Awesome.
Brian also mentioned that no one can dislike Uncle Phil. I think that even the guys who fight him like him. This is 100% true. It's whoever you're in the ring. If Uncle Phil's in the ring, you're already the bad guy. It doesn't matter who you are. So even I poor JG Muller on the stick. I mean, he's the most popular guy in the ring until Uncle Phil steps in there, and suddenly JG Muller's the bad guy. So. And we got no more 6 papers. Thanks, buddy. I'll save them for Saturday. So, yeah, I got a designated driver Saturday. So, boys, we're going drinking afterwards, and we're going to have some fun on 420. It's going to be a blast. So, gentlemen, what do we got here? We could go with the latest release that we have on YouTube, which would be TFA and El Asesino, or pick of the litter. We can go to just about anything here, or a particular match that you remember, NJ, that you'd like us to play.
Oh man, hey man, that chairs match stuck with me.
Okay.
The anything Morris Waltz is great. Again, that's my man. So, really quick, one of the shows, I think it was a few ago. Morris was wrestling, and I overheard like this guy in the crowd being like, "Who is that? He's so good. He's so clean. He has so much confidence." And it was, it was wild to just kind of overhear somebody else, especially for somebody that's, so young and so hungry, going for that. So, yeah.
Yeah, Morris is fantastic. He's got the world ahead of him, too. And I know that even when he made his debut over in Alberta, that he left his mark over there as well, too. Stood out amongst the fans in Alberta. So he's on his way up, and I can't wait to see how his career continues to unfold. But yeah, I'm thinking, okay, chairs match it is. We can get a little bloody here tonight on Ring Respect Radio. So just going to share window, Chrome tab. There we go. All right, I am going to do no sound on this thing just so we can avoid any potential copyright strikes with in particular, more so the entrance music for both El Asesino and Cannonball Kelly. Although I don't know that Cannonball Kelly gets a whole lot of entrance music during his walk to the ring on this one, because this kind of starts a little bit hot, this matchup. The build to this was fantastic, and we knew it was going to be chaos. Again, Basser in the comment section was working camera that night, and That was Bastard. That was your second time, I believe, on camera. Confirmed there. But of course, you got left with that big old nasty bruise on the back of your leg from the chair shot. Because even us camera guys aren't exactly safe at ringside. There, it could be a whole lot of fun.
Hell no.
Yeah, BDJ say watch along. We need more of these. Yeah, you know what? I agree. We have that. And yeah, Bastard second show. Yeah, because your first show was PBW presents Who's Your Daddy, which was the one where I was the ring announcer for. Which yeah, I'll never forget the name of that show. That was a classy one.
There's me on the right in my Oilers jersey.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's an awesome spot to be. The energy is so high between the two VIP sections on either side of the ramp here. It's awesome. And the signs, man, listening back to the edits on this thing too, like I have to bring the volume levels down because some of the shit that the audience is saying is just, I know how the bots work within Google and YouTube. And I'm like, yeah, there's just no way that one's going to slide for us without getting banned here. So you got to be a little bit careful, especially the mouth of El Asesino. That could get us in a little trouble every once in a while.
Man.
Papa Smokes, I gotta ask, where's the Papa Smokes t-shirt been on El Asesino as of late? He's been wearing his own brand lately. He used to be sporting your shirt, but did you do something to piss your boy off or something like that? Like, what's going on there, brother?
No, I don't think anything happened, but there's going to be nobody that changes his mind once he gets an idea. So, no, the Papa Smoke shirt will be back, I'm sure. But for now, he's always looking evil and looking good.
I'll have to get me a Papa Smoke shirt to wear one of these shows.
Hell yeah. I got a new design, so I might make some.
Bastard saying he needs one too, and I'll need one as well. I've got the old design, Papa Smokes. I'll take the new design as well too, brother. Make it happen. But, man, Cannonball Kelly, like I knew this guy could go out there and he could tangle with El Asesino. We've seen these guys in fights before. What I really worried about, and I mean, love him to death, but Johnny Two Figures, I was like, I wouldn't put it by El Asesino to put his hands on Johnny on a night like this. As we see that hot start to the match go right away.
Just violent right out of the gate. Like you could see the kind of hate in the attacks from El Asesino there. He really trying to lay into him early on.
I'm already laughing at my I'm already laughing at my camera placement, like with Cannonball coming out, especially for a match like this. I'm hiding over on the side here because I know that this aisle is going to be taken up with brawling and running and sprinting and smashing. This is me hiding, like you can't really see, but I'm crouched down hiding here holding this camera.
Yeah, there really isn't a lot of room outside of the ring for you guys to move around and everything. So, but when you said that you guys are putting yourselves on the line, it was no joke.
No. And again, I knew that was going to happen on this night too. And as soon as, like, I'm glad that you moved off to the side, and it almost gives it a cool effect in a way. Like, I know it's not, yeah, that's awesome. But I know it's not like, perfect camera shots that you'd see in a high production company, but I find that with independent wrestling, that is part of the charm of it and stuff like that, that it feels more real, that somebody's trying to get out of the way, and that it flipping between what camera shots we can get. But I mean, capturing this chaos in the first place is a difficult task, and it just looks fantastic.
You guys do a great job. I mean, it really captures the energy of it, and I like the kind of the kind of vibe that it has. I mean, you say, oh my goodness, you can see in the Akimbo video, the lo-fi kind of VCR vibe that we had on some of the wrestling footage, and it looks awesome. And that was actually just shot with a really old camcorder is how we did that. It wasn't like an effect or anything. We just shot it on old equipment. And, especially with indie wrestling, I feel like, yeah, you're right. It does kind of suit the vibe of it.
It really does. Yeah. As we say hello, Astrid up in the house. How are you doing, Astrid? Thank you for joining us here today. Yeah. So that's one of the things. And I know a lot of people ask about like getting different cameras and stuff like that. I mean, someday possibly, but again, with what we use, and again, some people laugh about using the cell phones as cameras at ringside, but honestly, it's like, if you know anything about the video cameras in cell phones nowadays, they are better than most of the standard the handheld cameras that you can afford and go purchase. And we've got them sitting here at our leisure. Like, we have other cameras around the place, but I tend to go to the footage when it comes to editing, to the stuff that's at ringside, because it's a lot more raw. It's a lot more like you're just right there with the fans enjoying the action. But then getting up nice and close like this, like Bass did, getting right in there, being told by Cannonball Kelly to hold that chair in place while he pulls the dirty here. Let's be honest, Kelly is evil. El Asesino went to the ring prior to fighting it. Kelly never even checked in. El Asesino tries to play, but get lost, Brian. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Brian.
El Asesino play him by the rules. Yeah, the rules he created.
Oh, this is crazy. Is this where Cannonball throws a chair from like in the audience?
Oh yeah, that's coming up right away but not until they fight in the concession area here first.
Yeah. So yeah. Absolutely insane. That was like a right by our section, and it was just so wild. And again, this is something that like a camera on a tripod wouldn't be able to capture anyways. Like, you have to go. You're for a match like this, you're going handheld anyways. So I think you guys killed it. This looks amazing. They killed it. Oh man, right in the I couldn't see this.
Yeah.
From where I was. So this is awesome. I've never actually went back and watched the YouTube video of this yet. So, oh God.
This is why I'm glad we had the three of us there too, because you guys were where you were positioned, stuff like that. I was able to run through the audience to capture this portion of it. And then I believe Basser ended up on the other side. BDJ saying Basser should be thrown out for holding the chair. Basser was told by Cannonball Kelly to hold that fucking chair, dude. And if Cannonball Kelly tells you to hold the fucking chair, you hold the fucking chair, plain and simple.
This is it. Oh my God.
Oh, there it is.
That hit him right on the neck or something. I remember it was nasty. Yeah. Oh
yeah.
Oh, the ref got hit too.
Basser, which one of those chairs was the one they hit you? It was one of those two, if I'm not mistaken. Was it number 1 or number 2? And watch out for the chips, boys. Oh, you can just see the energy in the crowd, though, too, just on their feet for this. And this is main event time. Like, this is like a lot of shows. If you don't capture the crowd long enough, the time you get to the top of the night, people are burnt out and everything. But with PPW, I mean, not to toot our own horn, we do an amazing job, and we just have amazing fans that stick it out. They want to be there and party as long as there's a PPW fight in the ring.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, yeah. The energy in there is just crazy.
And that barbed wire steel chair, just ouch. I definitely should have been thrown out for holding the chair. I got excited. Hey man, you were told by Cannonball. I mean, I normally wouldn't go hold a chair for one of the boys, but if Cannonball told me to hold a chair, I'd probably just listen. Oh. With that barbed wire,
couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, Brian saying when the barbed wire chair starts sticking to them, I knew they were going all in on this one. Yeah, man. Oh, it's even more sick being up close like that and everything, and just seeing what these guys are putting themselves through. Absolute chaos. And Cannonball Kelly, he's a madman. El Asesino might be dangerous, but Cannonball Kelly is a madman, a stickler for pain. And there's the world's coolest dude, Johnny Two Fingers at ringside.
There really didn't seem like there was anywhere Cannonball wasn't willing to go to, kind of teach Asesino a lesson in this match.
Yeah.
He really was just willing to go wherever it took with these chairs. He was sick of the chairs, man.
Right there, that chair just sticking ass, mentioning Johnny Two Fingers, Cannonball Kelly, a couple of musicians themselves, their band Johnny Two Fingers, The Deformities, everybody should check out. NJ, have you crossed paths in your musical career with Johnny Two Fingers, The Deformities yet?
No, but I mean, I found their music, a few months ago. I was like on social media looking at Johnny Two Fingers account and found, some of the band stuff and went and checked out his stuff. And I thought it was really cool. So after the last show, I was like, dude, I had no idea you were a fucking rock star. Like,
Yeah.
and again, such a solid dude and really has that kind of rock star energy. Like I should have known, like he has that kind of sauce like that a rock star would have. So never cross paths like musically, but like super cool and like happy that I know about them now going forward.
Can you imagine this before a big PPW show? If we could get like yourself, Johnny Two Fingers and the Deformities, and a couple other local kick-ass artists that love Prairie Pro Wrestling to do like a musical show or something, like a night one type thing. We put on a concert. Night two, we bring you one badass big PPW show or something like that. Maybe that becomes the new Halloween tradition down the road or something.
Well, I'm working with this new music collective recently, and a lot of them are from kind of the area, and a lot of the people that are involved in that. And something along those lines is definitely something that we've thought about. We've thought about before, just because it's like I love the energy in those rooms. I love the energy at our shows, and I would love to kind of find a way to make those intersect at some point. And dude, having Johnny and the band play there would be crazy. So yeah, I would love to explore something like that down the road. I hope the higher ups, maybe we can figure that out one day.
Yeah, something to consider. Master saying concert in the parking lots before a summer show, and Johnny RKO's is BDJ. Hey. I mean, that parking lot would be pretty rocking if we had some live music going out there to warm everybody up, especially they have all those troopers that stand out there for a good couple of hours waiting to get into the show. And, we do apologize to everybody who hasn't been able to get in the last few shows. It's just, this has been an unforeseen thing where PPW has been such a hot ticket that, we've had to turn people away for the first time ever. And we do feel honestly really bad about it. And everyone keeps asking, like, can you add a bigger venue? Can you do this? There's not a lot of options in Saskatoon. That is the biggest problem here. It's, and it's the atmosphere too. Like if you go to a larger place and you don't fill that place in the same kind of way that you see us filling this place, it loses some of that mystique that makes PPW so special. And I think that honestly, in my personal opinion, I like where we are. I really like staying where we are. I think that moving might risk people not enjoying PPW quite as much because it has a tight-knit feel about it. That was the spot we were talking about earlier.
You're 100% right about that, Bob. I know that suggestion has been coming up quite a lot for PPW to move to a bigger venue, but to me the fans are very, very much part of the show for PPW, and we want the fans to be jammed together to all feed off of each other's energy. How many times have we all broken out in laughter as the fans entertain themselves with various chants? Then they change the chant to something funnier. Then it becomes something funnier. Now they're all laughing together, and we're all laughing together. And that's the great part of professional wrestling. When you're up close, you can hear the wrestlers, you can see them. You can hear what they're saying, all that stuff. It's perfect. Oh boy. It's perfect and it's intimate and Jesus. It's intimate and perfect, and we want the fans to be part of the whole show.
Yeah.
Seeing kids like in that venue too, like how close they are to the action, and I think what that kind of does for them and that kind of wonderment watching pro wrestling, some of them probably for the first time live, I think is also super important. Like you're almost close enough that you could reach out and touch these guys. And I feel like, I don't know, I went to a few pro wrestling shows when I was a kid, and that kind of vibe really lends itself a lot to pro wrestling, especially for that kind of community aspect of it.
Oh, for sure it does. And BDJ say maybe take over the old racetrack for the summer venues, but I agree with Baz. Cosmo is PPW, and
dude, the racetrack, that's a crazy idea. I go out to watch stock car races out at the oval track outside of the city. Yeah, and it'd be absolutely nuts to have like some kind of wrestling and oval racing thing one day. Crazy idea.
I mean, when we started, we actually, our first 3 shows were outside at the Food Truck Wars here in Saskatoon over on 20th outside the Roxy Theater. And that very night, that very weekend or whatever was when we got to make the debut. So it was free admission and we had massive amount of crowd, especially Saturday night. I think nearing 500-600 people that were standing there enjoying PPW as it happened. As we got Master saying, PBW is like secret pizza joint that's only open for an hour a day, certain days. Get there early and wait for it. We're like Mindy's Bakery. I mean, it's just, Mindy's Bakery in Chicago. We all know the famous line. We're like that. It's a special joint that's secret to some. And everybody's trying to let their friends in on the secret. But what you don't know is if you didn't get your damn pre-sale tickets, you're going to have a hell of a time getting through the door. And I will say it right now, the pre-sale tickets have sold out. We are completely sold out on capacity on the pre-sale. There will be very limited tickets available at the door this Saturday. Enjay, I know you got your ticket already.
I got my tickets.
Oh, of course.
No, I got them. I just, that's a really exciting thing to hear, Like, I even took a picture at one of the last shows of the sign on the door that said "Sorry, sold out," just because that's such a flex. Like, that's just a cool thing to see. It's like, hey, sorry, there's too many dudes in here where we can't let anybody else in. Like, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah. And Bass are saying he's got his. Again, yeah, I know. Hopefully I'll have camera stuff. Like, there was some technical difficulties last time. I didn't get to be at the door at the beginning. We had a little bit of chaos at the door, people pushing their way through and trying to buy tickets when we have to let the VIPs in first. So I'm pretty certain I'm going to be at that door. I am going to put on the dad voice and I'm going to let people know to back the fuck up and let the VIPs in first. We're going to get all the ticket holders through. I believe we have wristbands this time for ticket holders and VIP so that we can maybe get those on their wrists prior to the doors opening, get everybody through ASAP so we can get seats. Hopefully no jackasses will be stealing reserved seats this time so I don't have to start telling people to get the hell out of certain chairs or anything like that. Let's have a smooth, cool, relaxed 420 PPW smoke show. So, guys, we're getting to the top of the hour here, so I'm going to say final thoughts. Enjay, going into this weekend, what are you thinking? What are you excited for?
Oh, man, I'm just ready to have a great 420 PPW. It's 2 of my favorite things lining up on the same day. I got the day off of work, so, I'm probably going to spend most of the morning just playing video games, hanging out with some of my buddies. And really excited for this PP dub. And I'm excited to see both of you guys there. I'm excited to smoke with Papa Smokes, and it's going to be a great 420, baby.
Oh, that's going to be a blast. Papa Smokes, yourself, what are you excited for Saturday, my man?
Same thing. The overall feeling I always get at a wrestling show, just excitement, anticipation, looking forward to the matches, seeing the people I know in the crowd and all the other friends that we have there, and then some tag team action. What's going to happen? Or will the belts be handed out on Saturday? We don't know that, but something's going to happen towards that, not to mention the big heavyweight title fight. Colton Kelly's in it up to his eyeballs for this one. That's going to be a huge challenge with the big redneck Jacob Creed coming in.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see the both of you this Saturday. Of course, Basser, BDJ, everybody that's going to be showing up. Again, like I said, I got my DD all set up for me. I'm getting dropped off at this show. So when the night's over, yes, make sure you're in the parking lot. Let's blast some, celebrate 420, and then we're going to head on over. If anybody wants to join, have a few brewskis with myself, Pop Smokes, Enjay. If you and your crew want to come down, join us as well too. Let's make it a fun time after PPW this Saturday. But before we go, again, boys, we gotta let people know where they can find you. Enjay, I got a bit of a ticker down below there for you. Let people know what you got going on, what you got coming up, where they can find you.
Yeah, man. I'm getting ready to put out a bunch of new music with my band. We're called 6M. So definitely follow us on, any social media. If you just type in 6M a bunch of times, we should come up. Or just 6M on any streaming services. We're putting out 2 projects this year and gearing up to put out another solo album next year. So doing a bunch of music stuff, just kind of been writing and kind of hiding away like a hermit, growing this hair out and just, going full artist mode on these projects. So follow me anywhere at NJ's World or at the 6M pages.
Fantastic, brother. All right, now we're heading over to the most expensive part of the show. It's the biggest, most expensive ticker on the planet. It's Papa Spokes' ticker. Papa Spokes, let them know where they can find you.
All right, check out this beautiful ticker. I can be found at Elon Musk's Free Speech Wonderland, also known as X. I am at smokes_papa. You can also find me every so often on Twitch at papa_smokes_.
Fantastic. There you have my credentials down below. I'm Bobby Munson, real Bobby Munson over on X, Instagram, and Threads. It's at Video Bros SK, and on Twitch, Video Bro_Bobby Munson. You can catch me this Sunday with Point of View, where I'm going to be joined by Andre C. We're going to be doing a watch along of MLW's recent War Chamber Part 2, I believe they're calling it. We'll probably watch everything except for the main event because, to hell with the calling. Everything else on the card looks pretty snazzy, so we'll be giving you all the details coming out of that. And then, of course, next Thursday night, make sure you're here on Ring Respect Radio because Pop Smokes and I are bringing you MLW Pub Trivia Night. It's What the Fuck Do We Know About Wrestling Pub Trivia Night right here on Ring Respect Radio. That's going to be it for us tonight. Make sure that you stay tuned for Andy Collins and Kyle Sparks on the Honor Ramble coming right up. Thank you for Enjay for being here. Thank you, Pop Smokes, as always, for a great show. Boys, I'll see you Saturday. Take care, everybody.